Vertigo pedal, Steve.
Nice set of chords, Jeff.
It's all right, isn't it? What's that from?
You made it up, didn't you?
No, I did not make it up. Did not make it up. Did not make it up. Well, it's sort of an impression of a Joe Bonamassa track, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how close it is.
Lovely set of chords, huh?
They are a nice set of chords.
And nice sounding pedal.
Yeah, so today is Vertigo pedal. We're going to have a look at the Source Audio Vertigo pedal today. So it's been on my board for a while. Always just use it at the start of John Henry. Just at the start to create that lovely swell.
Yeah.
There's a lot in this pedal, I have to say. It is a cracking little unit. But before I go into that, it's the old, can we please have a subscribe or a like or a comment or just communicate in some way with us?
All of the above.
All of the above. Go for it. So that'd be great. Anyway, yeah. So Vertigo pedal by Source Audio. You don't see many people stocking these.
No, not very familiar with their
around
pedals,
here,
really,
but,
to be honest.
They make a lovely range. They make Crust and Cracking. They do one called the True Spring, which is a really nice spring pedal, especially if you're into like surf, rock sounds. It does that real drip. Yeah. You know, it's amazing. Yeah, okay. They're mainly digital pedals. Right. They're, you know, sort of modelling pedals. I think they are really good. They're very clean. But I thought we'll just do a bit of an overview on the pedal itself. So let's have a look at the... I think the build of it, really. I do like the way they make their pedals. Metal case. There is some plastic, metal sides, bit of plastic at the top there. You can probably see it there. But overall, nice, strong construction. Standard size, really, as well, which I do like. Pretty sturdy, I think. It offers you the choice of true bypass or buffered. Okay. So, true bypass... in terms of what's the benefit, it doesn't interfere with your signal. Right. So when you turn it off, it's straight through. That's the idea behind it. Some of them have little relays that do it. Others make a little noise.
Okay, so you say when you turn off, it's straight through, so it's then out of your signal completely.
There's no circuitry within the pedal affecting your signal. That's the idea. Right. Some are a bit half and half, but this is... You can choose... however you want it. There's an app that comes with, you can download. Pop it on your phone or your laptop, and you can choose within that what it does, because you can plug it in, and there's lots of extra features you can do with those apps as well, if that's your thing.
Some of the TC Electronic ones do that as well, don't they?
They do, with their tone print stuff. Yeah. Very similar in that idea, you know, that you can change a lot of parameters that you maybe wouldn't want to change on the fly. Yeah. It just quick around it. It's a stereo pedal. There are 2 ins and 2 outs on it. You've got a 9-volt power supply in the back. It comes with a power supply because it's a little bit thirsty. This pedal. Rare. Well, I think it's something like 400 milliamps or 350, which is outside a lot of. Okay. You know, it would put a lot of strain on a daisy chain. There's only so many you can put on a daisy chain anyway. So it comes with its own little power supply. You can. You can't, rather, I should say, rather than can. You can't put a battery in this one. It has to run on its power supply, so bear that in mind. There's a little mini USB on there for firmware upgrades and lots of other different things as well that are coming for it. I think also it'll take Midi signals via that as well. So you can connect it to like a Midi controller on your board. It gets very complicated at that point, Steve. You probably blank.
That's when my eyes start to glaze over, that one there.
The one I do when I was theory, you start going through. It's exactly the same, isn't it? Yeah, so no. Just to go through it in a little bit more depth, the output there on the side is also, that's what goes out to the Neuro App. And there's a lot you can do with some of these as well. You can control things with expression paddles. Oh, yeah. Okay. Speed up and slow down. Yeah. You can use a tap tempo pedal as well. They do like a little box with a tap tempo. So and they go in through these connectors. So it's got a lot of flexibility, but all of those things need to be done using that Neuro app as well. So if you hate apps...
So you just can't do it when you're at the...
No.
You
have to kind of pre-decide how you want to set it all up and do that. But there's a lot of hidden power in it, if that's what you want. But I like it because it's all on the surface as well. You know, what I need is just there. Yeah. And I do like that. So usual LED to let you know what's going in. There's a little LED at the top, lets you know when you're connected to that external device. Okay. So if you've got an expression pedal, it'll show it's connecting and doing things. Right. Obviously just the usual on-offs as well. And in the middle, there's this little three-way switch to take you through the 3 types of vibrato that it has, or tremolo that it has, and just 4 knobs. Okay. So the 4 knobs, what are they?
No, I was going to say, what are the 3 types?
Oh, I'm going to come back to that.
Okay.
I have a script.
Right, script.
So the knobs are depth, speed, shape, and level. Interestingly, the level one, you can actually put gain into your system. It's not level of the effect. Right. It's an overall level. Okay. So you can actually cut back. I think it's like plus 6 dB if you go up all the way. If you're in the middle, it's just not adding, not taking it away, but you can actually turn it completely off. So
am I being showing my stupidity once again that it's almost could be a boost as well?
It does actually boost, It will actually give you a little bit of oomph. So if I'm... 6 decibels, and you literally the other way, nothing.
Wow, that's interesting.
Okay. Nothing at all. So let's have a look at the...
That's quite handy.
It is quite handy. We're going to come back to that little switch in the middle because that's a really interesting little one. But let's just do the 4 knobs first, okay? So depth is pretty self-explanatory, but it's how deep the wave form is, okay? So you have a very shallow wave, hardly hear it. Or we can really go up. Get a really strong effect out of it.
Quite a nice tone still, though. Some reverb pedals, when they get really quick, something about them I don't like. I don't know what it is.
The next one will show you how it speeds up as well, so we can do that as well. But let's... plenty of effect in there, isn't it? It's nice, it is nice. So let's go back just to put that in the middle of the road there. So speed is how that wave fluctuates, how often it's going to fluctuate. So I've put it back to a more... Let's put it up a little bit higher than we'd maybe normally use it as. And then you can really slow it down, okay?
Oh, yeah,
okay. At its slowest. Okay. And then it gets really quick. It just should say I'm using a little bit of reverb here as well, so you can hear it with a bit of reverb. Okay, let's turn that back down to the middle position. So then we've got the shape. Now the interesting one about the shape is there's 3 shapes in this. Right. There's a soft waveform. I've got some graphics I'll pop up just to... Soft waveform, a square waveform. Right, yep. And a sawtooth.
Okay. Yeah, I've got something similar on my pedal. Which,
yeah. And we'll do a comparison.
That's why I thought the middle switch was
What's the one you've got?
It's a TC Electronic pipeline.
Yeah, so what we will do at some point, we'll do a pipeline review, and then we'll maybe put them side by side as well and see how they compete with each other, if you like. So the first shape, and what I like about this is you haven't got fixed 3 shapes. It'll go from smooth to square or anything in between the 2.
Okay, yeah, mine's fixed. Once you choose one, it's...
it's quite a nice little effect there. So if you've got like... So square is very...
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's quite on-off, 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 on-off. Now I have got it set on this one that says bias, which is a bit smoother, so we'll come back. But if I sweep that around, it's become softer. It's not so on-off, on-off.
Takes almost like takes longer to get.
Yeah, it's coming up to the peak and then it's dropping back down. And then finally, you've got a very choppy sawtooth wave.
Like that chainsaw outside.
Yeah, it's driving us nuts. Okay, so quite a few different
right.
feels to that, which is quite nice. And you can really hear those 3 waveforms, but I do like the fact you can kind of mix between the 2.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. You get some interesting effects then out of it as well. So there's a bit of the sawtooth in there.
Yeah, because on mine, if I don't, there's one in particular that I like, and I don't tend to use the other 2, but you could blend them a bit more now, which is nice.
Quite a nice, useful thing.
Okay.
All right, so the toggle switch. Now, the way Source Audio talked about this, there's normal, there's, what's it called? Harmonic, that's the one, and bias. I've been using it on bias, which is the one actually I like myself. But if we stick it over, let's get all these back down to a more sort of normal level in there. So we're looking at the normal one. And the normal is an old-fashioned optical type of tremolo. Okay, that you used to get in things like a Fender Vibrolux.
Oh, yeah.
60s.
Some more
classic sound.
Yeah.
It's quite on-off. You can really...
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty, isn't it? It's that nice. But it is quite a strong effect. Over to harmonic, you're getting more of a brown face Fender, so they say, sort of 59 to 63, I think they claim.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is modulates the treble and the bass, so it's quite a complex sounding tremolo. Let's turn the effect up a bit so you can. So if I show you the difference.
It's less.
It's quite obvious, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And then this one's a bit more complex.
Funny actually, when you played the chord, I thought I preferred the previous one, but then when you're back, I think I prefer that one.
It's different, isn't it?
It's softer. It's a little bit softer.
Let's go back through that again as well. So you got that.
It's quite harsh.
It's quite obvious, isn't it? Yeah. So that you can almost imagine like a spinning disc, and it's got the see-through hole, and that's when it's coming on. This one. It's amazing, isn't it? Same effect.
Yeah, but it's very subtle
different,
but it is different. Yeah, it's nice. It seems quite responsive as well, actually. That's
lovely,
nice. Yeah.
Now, the one I use a lot is bias. Now, bias is a little bit of a dirtier sound because it was created by changing the voltage into the tubes in the amp.
Right.
So it would alter the volume by pulling and pushing the voltage.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's my favourite because I think it's in between those two a little bit.
So you say it's funny. You say that's dirty. I initially thought that was cleaner. That's not, is it? Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Back again.
It seems quite responsive to how you attack it as well, which is good. Some pedals don't do that enough.
No, I know what you mean. But I find vibrato does that. That's quite a nice...
Yeah.
You can dig in and it swells up.
A little nastier, which is good.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah, cool.
Brilliant. Okay, so we've looked at the pedal and a few of the settings and the different sounds there as well, Steve. So I thought we'd cover a few little details such as the Neuro App that comes with it as well. So it's a cracking sounding pedal.
It's amazing.
I'm going to let you have a little bit of a go later. I think is try something through it and see what you think. But the Neuro App is really useful. It goes into like an iOS or an Android device, and you can create presets, different things you like that you can put in there. And I think you can store one at a time. You can have one preset in there that you can recall. So that's all you can do with that. But
it's a shame you can't, like the TC Electron ones, you can change it on the spot, can you? As in, if you got it saved on your phone, you can hold it over your pickups.
Right, I'm with you. No, you can do the same, but you connect it to the little USB.
Right, okay, so you could do that.
Or I think it might be into the jack actually as well. So you just need the cable.
Yeah,
you can do it. You can. You know, it's not maybe quite as flexible in that sense. But download the instruction book for all of that. I'm not going to go through all of that because it does get quite complicated. There's also, in the Neuro App, there is a 4-band parametric EQ as well. Mm-hmm. So if you want to thin it out, thicken it out, change the feel of the sound, you can do that through the app as well, and it will fix the parametric EQ it isn't a preset, that's inside it.
Right, so I again may show myself, but I think my old Marshall had a parametric EQ. Is that where you just set everything level, and if you want less bass?
You choose the frequency, and then you choose cut or boost. Okay. So that's a parametric. You can decide where it's going to go. So if you had like a 7-band equalizer, you've got 7 channels, you can slide them up or down, like the Boss pedal, up or down. With a parametric, you have one knob to decide the frequency and the other knob to cut or boost that frequency. So what you can do with some complicated ones, you can even decide how wide the frequency is as well that you're choosing. So you can notch out difficult sounds or put in peaks, weird peaks and troughs. Okay. They're very powerful, but with great power, Steve. It's great responsibility.
Really? Did we go there?
So you've got to be careful with stuff like that. You can really, but you can put it back to factory, so have a play. I think you can save as well a different EQ for each position of the toggle switch as well. So there's 3 different ones, so you can play with them individually. There's quite a lot. There is also a low cut filter. So if you don't like the bass end off it, you don't need it, you can roll that off as well. Because I will say it is quite beefy. It does add a bit of bass. Right. In fact, I did roll off a bit of the bass on the Spark pedal that I often use just to compensate a little bit. So that is something to bear in mind. But again, you can go in and you can take that out yourself anyway. MIDI features give you a lot of control. It's not something I really do much, but you can control the frequency oscillations and all that through MIDI. Live, you can do that via a track as well. So there's a lot you can do.
These all sound like things I wouldn't do.
They're all things I don't do either, Steve.
But
so
somebody would.
Somebody somewhere who loves this kind of gear.
Yeah, okay.
So it has that flexibility to do if you want that kind of thing. Now, I have tried quite a few tremolo pedals. I've never tried the one that you've got. I don't think that was out when I'm not sure whether I ever saw that one when I bought this. But I love the sound shaping.
Pedal trendsetter, me, am I?
Are you? Okay.
I think. We know that's not.
That's not true at all. So I do love I love that little toggle in the middle. I think, you've got 3 distinct sounds there at your fingertip, and then you can just tweak the level and the depth and so forth very quickly. And I like that. I've kind of gone with complicated pedals, and I've realised actually I like quite simple.
Yeah, I do like the fact that you can blend the shapes.
That is nice.
That's cool.
It's a nice little feature. Yeah, I do like that. It doesn't sound digital in any way as well. I would say that. Sometimes you've got this idea of digital because I've got a Hall of Fame TC Electronics reverb, and it's all right. But when you really sit down and study it, the tails are a little bit digital.
It won't surprise you to know that in the last couple of years I'd bought 2 Hall of Fames and sold them both very quickly.
No, it doesn't surprise me, actually, because there is something that not quite right.
And unfortunately, like when I watch a review, I don't know what's happening on what they're doing, but it can sound pretty magical, but then maybe it's my lack of pedal ability. I'm not getting it to sound the way it sounds on there.
There does need to be a bit of tweaking to get what you want out of it. But I would agree that it hasn't got that little bit of magic that I was looking for, and that's something I have been looking at replacing is the reverb. So that's something
you've been looking at a fairly extreme.
Well, it was extreme, Steve, but it's nice. It's upper end.
No, it's not.
Isn't it? But I mean, the quality of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So don't say that. If
Anyway.
James watching, we're in trouble. Okay, so I think the only thing I'm going to criticise this for, I love the colour. Sucker for the colour.
I was actually going to say I like the colour.
Yeah, but the white of the labelling on that colour at times is quite hard to read.
Right.
It reflects off. You can see in this recording actually there's a bit of a reflection in this bottom corner.
Yeah.
From the light here, and if it's anywhere near the writing, you certainly can't see anything.
Yeah,
so you have to know where the things are.
I've seen that as recently a criticism of some of the Fender amps where you look at the controls and you're like, I can't see that when it's on stage.
I know, and it is. The lighting's poor on stage.
Something they should think about,
It is something you should think about, definitely. But that's the only negative thing I can say about it. It comes with the power supply.
Definitely have to compare the two. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, we will do that, I think.
Can't remember how much that cost me. It wasn't dirt cheap, but it wasn't as high end as that. But interesting. But
how much was that one?
I tell you what, I'm going to say this, and I might be completely wrong. I've got in my head that I paid around 80 quid for it, but I might be
So this
wrong.
is significantly more. This one's about the 150, 160 mark.
Yeah.
But I think you can tell why. I think TC Electronics do a fantastic range of pedals.
Yeah, they do.
I've got a few on my board. They really do. But this one for me really nails it really well. I'd like to try more of Source Audio stuff, but it's so hard to get around here. Nobody really stocks it around here.
I think I've probably heard of them more from you mentioning them.
Maybe. They do some crackers. There's one called the Ventris, and they do a Collider. There's some really good... And this True Spring one that I've heard recently, especially if you love surf and you love that dripping spring.
Which I don't.
That is pretty amazing. And that's got that built into it as well.
It?
Yeah, so... that either works for you or against you sometimes, because if you've already got that, you don't fancy paying twice.
No.
But, you know... So, yeah, really nice. Really sold on it myself. Love that pumping sound. That prettier one in the middle. Or the bias, which is a bit of both, a bit rougher.
I think I like the middle one, I think.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steve. I'm going to hand it over to you. You can have a little noodle and see what you think. Nice playing, Steve.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Happens occasionally.
Careful.
No, I can't be nice to you too much. So yeah, Vertigo pedal. Really love it.
Love it.
Really
Nice.
like it. Yeah, brilliant. So if you like what we do, if you'd like to see more reviews, please pop the notification on so you get notification. Do comment. Let us know if you like the Vertigo or whether you've got one you think is
which ones you've got?
better or equal or just different. What you've got, let's have a listen. If you're an absolute analog fan and you've got something in that department, whatever it is, get on that comment and let's have a chat. Brilliant. So or give us a like at the very least. Just press the like.
Stop sounding desperate, Jeff.
Press the like button. Do it. Brilliant. So thanks for joining us for this episode of the Blues Box on the Vertigo pedal, and we'll see you hopefully again. Take care.
Taking to witness the breakdown of a man on camera.
Yeah.